Macmillan Audio presents Assassin's Silence by Ward Larsen. Read for you by P.J. Ochlan. Prologue. Al-Qutaifa, Syria. The final bolt was always a contest of will. Suleiman Malouf paused to wipe sweat from his brow, then set his feet wide, locked his arms straight, and leaned every ounce of his weight into the iron pry-bar. The water pump from the old engine was stubborn, but he was more so. He pushed down on the bar with locked arms, his feet nearly coming off the ground, and finally the last hex bolt snapped. The corroded pump housing fell to the dirt with a hollow thump. Malouf stood back, expelled a long breath, and mopped his face with a filthy shirt sleeve. The engine block, taken from an abandoned military truck of Russian manufacture, was now separated from all its accessories. A clean 200-pound block of metal would bring $5 at the scrapyard. Maybe more if the tight-fisted Marwan was in a generous mood. He kicked the water pump across the workshop floor, perhaps with a bit of victory, and it came to rest in a pile of alternator housings, engine starters, and fuel pumps. He stood back and began cleaning his hands with a rag. Through the doorless entryway, Malouf looked out across his domain. Half an acre of dirt populated by automobile engines, corrugated roofing, and rusted oil drums. Like everything else, his collection had lost value since the war, the laws of supply and demand taking hold as ever. He was eyeing the shack he called home and thinking about dinner when he spotted his two nephews coming up the path. They were pushing the wheelbarrow and clearly struggling with its weight. Malouf smiled. When it came to picking up the pieces of Syria's civil war, children had proven to be the best scavengers. Their senses of sight and smell were sharp, and their small, supple bodies ideally suited to delicate steps over unstable rubble and worming into crevices. In the harshest of truths, they were also the least likely to set off unexploded ordnance. Best of all, as the young had proven in wars through the ages, they were rarely distracted by matters of risk or mortality. "And what do you have for me today?" he asked as they approached. Neither boy answered, yet he could see they were excited. 10-year-old Nassim was the leader, 60 pounds of bone and sinew that might, if he lived long enough and found the barest of nourishment, someday develop into a hard man. Mossad was 2 years younger and softer, a follower if there ever was one. Their father, Malouf's eldest brother, had been a lifelong day laborer before the uprising, before he had traded his shovel for defiant slogans and a Kalashnikov as old as the Dead Sea. Glory has many contrivances, and the boy's father had found his at the wrong end of an Alawite artillery barrage. An exhausted Nassim set the wheelbarrow down in the shade of a big acacia tree. Malouf's eyes narrowed as he studied what was inside. "What do you think it is?" Nassim asked. Malouf stuffed the rag in his back pocket. "Where did you get it?" he asked. "From the old shed outside town," young Mossad replied. Malouf frowned. "You went inside?" "Yes," said Nassim proudly. "I used a long plank to cross over the collapsed back wall." They all knew the place. It had been a stout building, older than most, which here was saying something. Thick-walled and thin-roofed, rumor had it that a tank commandeered by the rebels had been hidden inside at the height of the war. When the government got wind of it, they launched a spirited air attack. 2 of Assad's MiGs had scored direct hits, sending the roof to the heavens and toppling the old stone walls from the inside out. There had indeed been vehicles inside, but no tank among them. Ever since that day, the building had been off-limits, the old mullah from the nearby mosque insisting that unspent ammunition lurked in the rubble.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?